That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
I crack you up.
Saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Katt Williams just lit the fuse again, and this time he's aiming straight at the heart of the Diddy Nipsey mystery. He's not holding back, and it looks like we're about to find out what really went down behind those industry doors. Word on the street is, Katt's got inside info on the true connection between Diddy and Nipsey Hussle. And trust, it's way deeper than we thought.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
The Diddy trial is heating up, and while no one knows exactly how it's gonna end, one thing's for sure. Some of those wild theories floating online, they might not be theories for long, especially the ones tied to Nipsey's name. People wanna know, what kind of trap was Diddy running that pulled Nipsey into the mix? And why is Katt the one holding the missing pieces?
Hook up with the biggest rapper at the time, everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in LA. It was Lauren that brought Nip to him.
If you've been following all this drama, then you already know Lauren London's name got dragged into Diddy's federal case too. And that's got folks asking serious questions, like how is she caught in the middle of this chaos? But here's the shocker. Lauren already knew about Diddy's shady moves. She knew how he was treating Cassie, and she knew his rep in the streets. And now people are whispering that Lauren might have been in Diddy's inner circle herself, just like Young Miami. That's right. There's speculation that she was one of his girls on the low. So now everybody's looking sideways like, why would she introduce Nipsey to Diddy if she already knew what kind of mess he was into? And it wasn't just Jaguar Wright stirring the pot. Even Nipsey himself said it out loud.
I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Go back and watch his interview on The Breakfast Club. He straight up confirmed that Lauren was the one who introduced him to Diddy. Yeah, he said it with his own mouth. Now that got fans side-eyeing the whole situation, wondering if Lauren was more than just Nipsey's ride or die. Some folks believe she wasn't just in the background being supportive, they think she played a much bigger role in the whole setup. Was she planted to keep tabs on him, to keep him under control? There's talk in the streets that she was acting like Diddy's personal watcher, his eyes and ears on Nipsey's every move, making sure he didn't drift too far or say the wrong thing. And if that's true, that flips the whole narrative upside down. But wait.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
It gets even deeper. In one interview, Diddy himself said, Nipsey wanted to learn from me, how I did my business, how I made my moves. Now pause right there and think about that line. Read between those words, because that sounds way too smooth for what might have really been going on behind the scenes. Now fast forward to Nipsey's tragic death, and the streets are spinning the block on those old ties, asking the real question, did Diddy's so-called influence help Nipsey? Or did it set him up for something darker? And trust, it only gets messier from here.
What y'all doing? Lauren. Cassandra. What are you doing? Want some blue dot?
Now Katt Williams is speaking up again. And he's not biting his tongue for nobody. He's calling it like he sees it, saying that artists like Nipsey who got close to Diddy always ended up paying a heavy price. And when you look at the list, it's kind of scary. Cassie had to fight to escape. Meek Mill, swallowed by legal chaos. YK Osiris, emotional breakdowns. French Montana, industry puppet rumors. Craig Mack, gone too soon under wild circumstances. Ganity Kane, industry chewed him up and spit him out. all of them linked to Diddy, and all with stories that give you chills. People are waking up and saying this whole Diddy mentorship storyline, it's looking real suspicious. And now with old clips of Nipsey and Diddy hanging out resurfacing online, those whispers, they're turning into loud questions. Was Diddy just trying to mentor Nip? Or was there something else going on behind those flashy cameras and champagne toasts? And here's where it gets even wilder.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Some insiders are now suggesting that Nipsey started pulling away once he realized what was really going on. Word is, he peeped the game Diddy was playing and wanted no part of it. He was trying to build something clean, something powerful for the culture, not get caught up in some shady empire built on manipulation. People close to the situation say Nipsey began distancing himself, not just from Diddy, but from a lot of industry figures who were moving funny. And that's when things started feeling dangerous. The more Nip stood on his own, the more eyes were on him. The same system that props you up can tear you down if you step out of line. And some believe that's exactly what happened. And don't forget, Diddy's name been tied to a lot of other mysterious situations. People who get too close always seem to end up silenced, missing, or worse. So now folks are asking, was Nipsey's independence a threat to Diddy's control? Did his refusal to play along make him a liability in a game way bigger than we imagined? Because if what Katt and others are hinting at is true, then Nipsey wasn't just another rapper. He was a problem for the whole system. And problems like that, they don't get ignored. They get handled.
And next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. He's sitting there, he's looking at it, like waiting. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to f you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you notice to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you punch them in the mouth, threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction. It's a difference when a guy walks in the room and when a man walks into the room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy would say. So always be the man in the room.
Now let's talk about that footage that got everybody side-eyeing Diddy. Yeah, that clip. Diddy's in the studio, licking his lips, staring Nipsey down like he's eyeing dessert, zooming in on him like he forgot the cameras were rolling. And the wildest part, Nipsey's just chilling, locked into the music, completely unaware of the vibe shift happening behind him. And when you stack that next to what Katt Williams said, it hits different. Katt claimed he turned down $50 million 4 times just to keep his dignity intact. Now ask yourself, what kind of offers come with a $50 million price tag and make people walk away that fast? Katt even said Diddy tried to pull him into that same twisted world, but he shut it down quick. And guess what? He's not the only one. Terrence Howard told a similar story, said things started off professional, but the energy got weird fast and he ran before it got out of pocket. Now people online are putting the puzzle together and pointing fingers. They're saying Diddy might have been trying to get at Nipsey too, and when Nipsey wasn't with it, that's when things might have started to shift. People believe there was tension, not just business tension. What? Now when it comes to Lauren and Diddy, the street's been screaming and the receipts are loud. Old photos started popping back up, and in those pics, Lauren and Diddy are looking real close. Like closer than friends close. And here's the crazy part. Nipsey is right there in the background looking like the third wheel in his own relationship. That visual alone got folks shook, but it gets even stranger. After Nipsey's passing, Lauren sat down with Angie Martinez for an interview, and what she said left people with so many questions. She explained that Diddy was the one who helped her through the grief, which might sound sweet on the surface, until she shared what he actually told her. According to Lauren, Diddy looked her in the eyes and said, "Look, boo, you've shown everybody what it looks like to hold a man down and love him. Now show them what it looks like when it all crumbles. That's your responsibility." Excuse me? Did he really just say that?
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got, and he went on to sell about 10 million albums, or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons, because it just might come true.
Lauren casually mentioned that Diddy called her boo, the exact same nickname Nipsey used to call her. Now, why would Diddy be using such a personal name unless their bond went beyond just comforting a grieving friend? That moment raised all kinds of red flags. Meanwhile, Nipsey had already started carving out his own path, stepping away from the fake Hollywood games and building something solid on his own terms. Lauren, she had major ties. She had access. And the moment she brought Nipsey into that circle, everything started to shift. And not in a good way. Right after that intro, the energy flipped. And the so-called Diddy disaster wasn't far behind. Former Bad Boy insider Gene Deal stepped up and dropped a chilling warning about what really goes down behind the scenes in the industry. He said you gotta be very careful about the kind of requests you make, because in this game, even a simple wish can backfire in ways you can't imagine. Gene revealed something heavy. Nipsey once told him he wanted his music to hit like Biggie's Life After Death album. You know, the one that dropped right after Biggie was gone. Let that marinate. That title alone is enough to give you chills. And according to Gene, that was Nipsey's biggest mistake, speaking that out loud while Diddy was anywhere near. Because after that, it was game over. Nipsey started spending more time at Diddy's mansion than he did in the studio. He went from recording music to being wrapped up in that lifestyle, and that's when everything started changing. The man who once stood tall and sharp started showing signs of something off. Fans saw it. He looked drained, worn out. Not himself. It was like the spark was dimming, and the stress was written all over him, and people now believe Diddy had something to do with it. Not just the glitz and glam, but the pressure, the control, the silent tension. Because at the end of the day, Nipsey wasn't the type to bow down. He was smart, strategic, and unapologetically real. And that kind of spirit, it doesn't sit well with people who are used to pulling the strings. Some folks are saying Diddy had his eye on Lauren long before Nipsey passed, playing it cool in public but moving slick behind the scenes. Word is, he thought that once Nipsey was out of the picture, she'd be his next queen. But let's keep it all the way real. Diddy's track record with women speaks for itself, and it ain't royal treatment. Look at how he did Cassie. Claimed he loved her but kept her under lock and key for years, emotionally locked down and controlled. That wasn't love, that was a power play. And then there's Kim Porter, the mother of his kids. She passed after years of emotional damage and stress, all allegedly caused by Diddy's toxic grip. That ain't no coincidence.
All catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. All lies will be exposed. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, you would tell it. I know so many things I shouldn't know. When I walk in a room, heads go down.
So when people say Diddy had some fairy tale vision for Lauren, come on, this ain't about putting her on a pedestal. This was always about control. The same control he tried to have over every woman who ever got too close. And Diddy's grief game, different, strategic even. When Biggie died, he dropped that Grammy-winning tribute, then used it to kickstart his own solo run. He turned mourning into marketing. When Kim passed, he suddenly became the grieving single dad, pushing the family man image, while folks behind the scenes said he was still out here living foul. And when Nipsey was gone, Diddy wasted no time, posting about Lauren, sharing poetic captions about healing and legacy like he was part of Nip's journey. But let's be honest, Diddy didn't earn that legacy. He just knew how to slide into the spotlight when the cameras were on and the pain was fresh. Every time someone powerful passes, Diddy somehow finds a way to slide himself right into the center of the sorrow, like clockwork. So now the real question is, when Nipsey got taken out, was Diddy just setting himself up for another legacy moment? Whispers in the street say Diddy didn't just mourn Nip, he saw an opportunity. Folks believe he viewed Nipsey as an easy target, someone whose image he could wrap himself around to boost his own narrative. But here's the twist. In order for Diddy to even get that close, somebody had to open that door. And a lot of fingers are pointing straight at Lauren. Meanwhile, Katt Williams, he saw all this coming way before the rest of the world even blinked. Long before the headlines exploded, before the arrest, before everything hit the fan, Katt was calling it out. Not just the shady parties or sketchy contract, but the full setup, the control, the manipulation, and the blackmail. And trust, the internet is on fire right now. People aren't holding back and the theories are getting real bold. One user straight up said Lauren was set up to be with Nip by Diddy. And the wild part, they pointed out how she even thanked Diddy during Nipsey's funeral. That got folks connecting dots all over again. But the real question is, are people ready to accept what those dots really reveal? Another user took it even further, claiming Diddy did the same thing to Big. He hopped on the album, planned his death, and kept the money and royalties. And with all the rumors swirling around Diddy's alleged violent behavior and his manipulative patterns, people are wondering out loud, how deep does this thing go? Now fans are asking the unthinkable. Will Lauren ever speak up in court? Was she a victim caught in something way bigger? Or was she playing a role in the game from the jump? And could Diddy have had a hand in what happened to Nipsey? This story ain't just conspiracy. It's turning into a full-blown unraveling of power, legacy, and betrayal. So let us know what you think in the comments. Was it love? Was it setup? Or was it something even darker? And if you're here for the real, unfiltered truth they don't want you to hear, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and tap that next video already lighting up on your screen. This one's far from over.